Perfect timing, Christy. Welcome to the CJ Unedited podcast. My name is James Hanson, and as always, I am joined by the lovely Chrissy McNamara. For those of you guys joining us for the very first time because of this interview tonight, welcome. And to our viewers who have watched for a long time, great to have you back. Chrissy, how are you this week?
It is spring break, baby. I am good. I really haven't done that much other than my trip to New York on Saturday, which I will tell you guys all about next week. Yeah, I'm doing good. Can't complain. Teacher on spring break. How's you?
I'm good. I went to Gordon Ramsay's steak this past weekend.
I saw your post and he
Oh, it
liked
was
it or whatever.
so good. It was so delicious. I enjoyed it. Other than that, not much is going on. I got some announcements coming down the pipeline for myself soon. So just waiting for the right time to announce those. Chrissy, what are you drinking tonight?
I totally teacher on spring break drink. We've got strawberry lemonade flavored vodka mixed with limoncello seltzer water. Period.
It looks like you're just drinking water.
I could have told y'all that, and then you wouldn't think I was an alcoholic, but I'm not.
Nope, it's fine. Yeah, you're just an alcoholic. It's okay.
Cheers. What do you have?
I am drinking a mixture of things because I was eating a Cinnabon. I was drinking milk.
Hey.
But I have also our Corona Big Wave.
Not Big Wave and milk side by side.
I mean, hey, we got to do something. Tonight, guys, is a very special episode. An episode that we have been in the works for since, well, I was going to say for a while, but since January. But this past season, The Amazing Race released season 33 of its run. And it was very unique because they started filming in February of 2020, on February 22nd, 2020. And on February 28th of 2020, they were forced to suspend production because of the coronavirus. And they spent 1 year, 6 months, and 22 days on what they call a pit stops, where they took a break. It was the longest pit stop in the history of the show and the longest layover. Multiple people had babies during it. But during The Amazing Race, Ryan Ferguson, who we talked about this season, told you Ryan Ferguson was going to make his appearance a lot throughout the season. Raced around the world with his friend Dusty Harris. Chrissy, what did you think of 33 this year? And Rusty and Rusty, Team Rusty.
Team Rusty, I love it. This is the first season I ever watched. I know it was a lot different than some other seasons. I enjoyed it. It took me a while to get used to like the pacing of things, and there were sometimes I would be confused because the last place team would like not be eliminated, but it was always like a team that I wanted to stay in anyway. So yeah, it was fine.
So usually they don't. I'm gonna be honest. Usually they don't have that many non-elimination legs because usually there's 11 teams racing around the world and 12 legs. So.
Oh, okay. So they had I don't know how like the people that came back. That wouldn't necessarily bother me, but maybe it would bother people in the race if they won. I really, really liked all of the teams. There were some that like their personalities were just like mine, like the twins, Lulu and Lala were a lot like myself. I liked Natalia. I feel like her dad kept like screwing the legs up, and then she would always do it perfectly. Like you can even see it in the finale. Like she got everything on the first try. And yeah, it was really fun to watch. In the end, it really came down to like memory and like observance more over physicality. So kind of like outplaying, outlasting in a way Survivor does as well. I enjoyed Rusty, Team Rusty. First of all, yeah, really cute. Second, like my age, yeah, period. And their friendship was really funny. Like they would banter a lot and just go back and forth off of each other. And I think they had a really positive mentality, especially when they there were so many legs where they were in like first place and they would have been like the favorites to win. And then it just kind of, they had one unfortunate leg and it just put them at the last, like, I don't know what you call it, like heap of people to go. And that screwed them over in the end. But they were just so positive about it. Yeah, I enjoyed watching them. I thought it was funny how they would say things like, I would say, like, Dusty in the end, he was like trying to count those comps. He's like, I'm almost 38 now. He's like, I can't really see that well. So just crap that I say about being in my late 30s and they can relate. So all of the preparation that they would have had to do physically to get in shape for that was impressive. Like they looked a lot younger than they are.
Well, fun, interesting note is that we talk a lot about a lot of things that Chrissy just talked about in my interview with Dusty. So, guys, without further ado, we've been hyping it up for a week now. Dusty's been sharing it. The Amazing Race fan page has been sharing it. Let us watch this interview that I so fantastically loved, that I watched 3 times this week alone just to make sure it was going to run smoothly. And guys, this is the first time Chrissy will be seeing this interview as well. So she'll be watching it right alongside you guys. Here we go.
I use this as a point to, one, have a child. And so now I'm a father. And we also moved to Colorado, and my wife and I have started a bed and breakfast. Ryan, you just want to share this boat, dude? You put our luggage down there? Oh, this ain't bad. What do you got?
How cold it gets.
Yeah. This is quaint. It's very nice. Yeah. Do my Jane Fonda.
Throw the bags on the floor.
A little bit of Jane Fonda workouts.
Hope for the best. No?
Got you a little trim mix? Yeah, it's all good, dude. This is perfect. Hell, it could be worse. We could be on an airplane again, sitting straight up.
But I'm pretty sure I had the bottom. That's probably where I knew I needed the bottom.
Yeah, you just figured it out then. You've always been a bottom.
Then I go debo myself. Give me the bottom.
They're coming to Thessaloniki, guys.
Thank you.
Nice socks.
We appreciate it. It's our shtick.
They're known for their socks. They always sport good socks.
Good socks.
I think so. Wherever they go.
It's like Pac-Man out here.
I like the design and the colors.
Zooming around.
We don't need the west part of this island. Well, no. Hey, you know what? It's really hard to use a map in a convertible.
Yeah.
Just gonna put that out there. Pass them.
And
Yeah. All right. Come on now.
you got the clue tucked away?
I do. It's back there.
I'm so nervous. It's gonna blow out.
Wise man.
I mean, what if that happened to someone? Your clue flew out of the roof. Man, it'd be awful.
What's up, guys? I'm here with Dusty Harris from The Amazing Race Season 33. Dusty, long time coming, but we finally are here and doing this. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you having me on. I'm always down to help out a fellow Missourian.
Thank you. We drafted you guys. I drafted you guys in our Amazing Race draft, and you guys didn't disappoint me. So I'm really glad that I beat Chrissy, because Kim and Pin were also on my list. So
Fair
and
enough.
she had Kayla and Raquel. So
Nice. You had a pretty strong stable, my friend.
hey, well, she lost half of her people in the 19-month pit stop.
Bummer.
So
All honor to their name.
Exactly. Dusty, why don't you just, for those who don't know who you are, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up becoming, getting on The Amazing Race?
So yeah, man, Dusty Harris. I live in Colorado, Blooming Springs, Colorado. I do own a bed and breakfast here called the Harris House B&B. That's my shameless plug, everybody. You can look us up at harrishousebnb.com and do all your bookings there. Long story short, I was living in Columbia, Missouri, and when the show started filming in February of 2020, it's been so long, it's insane. Right before COVID hit, we got back. I actually had a very serious injury. My wife got pregnant. We sold everything we owned. We moved across the country, started a business we knew nothing about. My partner in the same boat had left Missouri around the same time. He had moved to New York. And so really how we got on, that's kind of my story. I love the mountains. If you guys ever want to come visit me, look me up. If I'm available, I'd love to spend time with you.
Oh, most definitely.
So Ryan was actually approached by a producer about being on the show. It's a funny story. He told me something about this like they approached him years ago, like right when he had gotten out. And it just didn't make sense for him then. He had other commitments. And so he was thinking about it, and he got the phone call. And so he was actually going to take his father, Bill, who, if you guys haven't watched Ryan's documentary, Dream Killer, Bill is Superman. There's no kryptonite that can kill this guy. He saved my best friend's life. He truly is a superhero. So that's my plug for him too. And also listen to Prison Counts, Ryan's podcast. It's mind blowing.
We actually did an entire episode over Ryan and Bill. So everyone who's watching this should know very well of that story.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you're spreading the word for him because he's an amazing dude. And so, yeah, they approached Ryan. You know, he was going to take Bill, but Bill actually had hip surgery, so he couldn't go. And, you know, I was lucky enough for Ryan to reach out to me. And I'll be honest, he called me real early in the morning. I'm like, what the hell is this about? This guy never wakes up early. And he was like, yo, I got this opportunity to run around the world on this show called The Amazing Race. And would you go? And I was like, is this real? And actually, I believe the producer may have even been on the phone. He was like, yeah, this is a real opportunity. I was, you know, and so it was a no-brainer. We went and had to cast with a whole bunch of teams. You're looking around, and as everyone knows, this cast is pretty spectacular. Everyone has a story. And so it was very intimidating being in this huge room with multiple other teams of people you've seen on YouTube and TV. And we were blessed enough to get the opportunity to go race. And the rest is history. 30 years of my life and multiple changes. And, you know, we come up a little short.
Hey, you know, it happens. You say, I've heard you say multiple times that, yeah, the $1 million is good, but you would have loved to have just, you know, got that belt and won the race. But you knew Ryan since high school, though, right?
Yeah. Ryan and I are childhood friends. I believe I was in 9th grade and he was in 8th grade, and somehow he worked his way into my group of friends, and the rest was history. We became inseparable right away, and he's always just been the guy that I'm like, yo, let's go do something ridiculous. And he's always there. He's always been that way. And, you know, it's hard to find people like that in the world. And the opportunity we got to make up for lost time. And I know we say it over and over again, but really that's what it was. You know, we got to cram 10 years of life into 1 month. It's a crazy 1 month of your life, but my goodness, it was, there's no one else I could do it with. I'll tell you that.
I heard you say on because I watch you guys, I watch Kayla and Raquel, I watch everyone talk about their just time on the show. And you said one of the times that's like, after those 10 years, it was like you had seen him the day before he left. And I think that just tells the testitude of a good, strong friendship that you can just pick up right back.
Absolutely. Seamless, man. It was like, damn, buddy, we were just hanging out. Yes. It was very strange. I didn't know how to feel when I saw him the first time, and he made it very comfortable very quickly.
But you guys did get on. You guys started filming in February of 2020, which just, it seems, because I was talking to my friend about like, let's go apply. And as soon as like the next day, he's like, they shut down production. And I was like, well, here we go. I don't know how long is this going to last. But you guys did really well. You guys seemed unstoppable. You guys partnered up with Anthony and Spencer. Also really liked them, saw their movie, got to know their story. But what was that feeling like after, you know, because you guys were on top of it. You guys were at the highest point, and then Michael and Mo and Arun and Natalia got voted eliminated, and then 19 months. They're a pit stop that changed the game.
It was something to behold. I mean, I think if you see everyone's face standing in Glasgow, we don't know what's going on, to be honest with you. You know, we're hearing grumblings that there's a virus of some sort, but to do this show, you have so many shots and vaccines, and I'm like, man, there's nothing that can kill me. And so, you know, I mean, I'm bummed. I'm like, is this it? You know, it's like, are we just going to come back in 2 weeks? It's just the unknown. It's like this opportunity doesn't come to most people, especially people like me, man. And to get it and, you know, having success early in the race, and, you know, we're starting to get our juices flowing. I'm just like, damn, man, like we can win this damn thing. Like, really, that's what we're thinking. And, you know, once we got the news, and they, you know, and I got to take my hat off to CBS, The Amazing Race. They did what they needed to do. And once we realized how severe everything was in the world, you know, when you get back, I mean, we made it back a day before the world shut down.
I know. I saw that. I was like, wow, like no matter what, you guys have been coming home anyway, but
yeah, who knows when. So, you know, the emotional, you know, roller coaster, the highs of going from a racing on national television to being confined in your house for 2 weeks. It was insane, to say the least. And so, 19 months go by. I'll be honest with you, after about a year, I'm starting to think it's probably not going to happen again.
Yeah.
How are you going to bring everyone back? How is this going to
Exactly.
work out? Is the world ever going to be normal again?
I mean, hey, you know what? We're getting back slowly but
Thank
surely.
goodness. Man, oh man.
But during that 19 months, you guys, originally you guys thought it was going to be 2 weeks. Like, did you guys do anything differently? Because I know in my mind when we were thinking about it was, okay, in this 19 months, learn how to drive stick. Look how to walk with a bottle on your head. Do things that, maybe you didn't get the chance to, because you guys got something that the last 32 years never got. Seasons got. You guys got 19 months to take a break, get to know each other, which is something that Phil said. He was like, they got to know each other. We can't stop them. So but what did you guys do in those 19 months? Like anything?
So right afterwards, I was injured right afterwards. So I was working out, thinking it's going to be right away. I tore my labrum, rotator cuff, and bicep. And so that was miserable to get through. And so if you notice, having a child really changed my life. I'd lost some weight and gotten into pretty good shape before the first 3 episodes of the show. If you notice, when I come back, I'd lost 25 pounds. I was a completely different person. A lot of people haven't noticed, but I wasn't as shredded as I was on the beach guys the first few episodes. I'm glad that got to be in the second part. Once I had my son, I've lost a lot of people in my family, especially on my father, my grandfather, due to heart issues and things. And so that's something that became serious to me. Ryan and I just kept sharing notes, talking, doing everything that Will and James did. We watched every single YouTube video you could find how to practice. We're both very well-rounded at everything, and we've been blessed to do a lot of things. I'm fortunate that I start hobbies and get real bored real quick, but that's allowed me to at least dabble in a whole bunch of stuff. And so Ryan's kind of the same way. When we knew we got the call when we were going back, that's when it really started drilling in. It was watching seasons. We were assuming where we may go, like literally looking at what are the safest countries in the world. Let's just watch every episode in 10 and just hope we get into a couple. It worked out for 2 of the countries we went to. It did help us one bit.
What countries did you guys want to? What country did you guys end up going to that you wanted to go to?
Switzerland for sure.
Okay.
100%. And I'm actually going back in June to the same place to do an Ironman. So I'm so pumped.
Ooh.
Yeah, in Lugano, it's going to be nuts. No wine bottles or chestnuts this time.
Don't say that, because they might actually just throw that in for you.
Know. I'm like, Switzerland treated us well, though, so I'm hoping Ironman goes remotely okay.
If you got to run up those steps, you should be able to do it. So
not again. So yeah, man, it was a whirlwind, but we put the work in. And you could tell who put the work in and with who came back. Mm-hmm. And this is a crazy thing to think about. When I talk with the cast, it's that first bus ride. Look who was together.
Exactly.
What a foreshadowing of it. It's so crazy to think about. We talked about it on that ride up to Santa's Mountain. Like, this is a chance who it could be. And of course, lo and behold, there we are.
What you guys did, when you guys came back to Switzerland, this was a question that Chrissy had, because she's a teacher right now, so she's teaching. But I asked her to ask some questions, and one of them she asked was, what was the reaction when Phil brought back out Arun and Natalia and Mike and Mo? And do you think that, did you have any fear that they could actually place further, or were you guys just happy to see them?
One, we were definitely happy to see them. And so with them being eliminated so early in the show, we didn't really get an opportunity to know them very well. And the crazy thing is, so we flew with them. Those are the first 2 teams we met. They didn't really show it on the show, but Ryan and I met those 2 at the Chicago airport, I believe, were the first 2 teams we ever met. And so, of course, right away, let's stick together, blah, 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 and then the race starts and all hell breaks loose.
Yes.
So when I get to see them come back, so it's good, hey, honestly, in the back of our minds, we kind of knew we needed contestants to do the race. You got to have enough teams, and we already beat them once. Doormats, let's go, bring them. And I don't mean that in a bad way whatsoever. I love those guys, but the way they performed, I didn't know what changed from 19 months. Mike looked 3 times as big as he did the first time, so I was like, I hope we don't have to lift things up. But we knew we had to have people to race. It was good seeing them, and at the same time, they didn't perform that well. So I was like, I think we can at least stay in front of them and stay in this a couple more legs, maybe,
Sadly, it seemed when we were watching, I was watching with a group of friends, when Mike and Mo got eliminated again, we said, is it going to fall the same way? Is it going to be the same outcome? Turns out it wasn't. But the challenges I seemed like got harder. The second time that you guys came back, they were harder to do. You guys had to do bungee jumping. You had to walk up the mountain, which, in my unfairness, I would have been so scared. But you guys missed the lift to go back down, and I was like, damn, that could have put him like an hour ahead.
I was wondering, I'm like, man, is this rigged? Come on now. How the hell does this get 10 seconds? I'm like, get out of here. But, that's how the race goes.
Exactly.
If you don't think you need luck to do well in this, you've lost your mind.
I feel like it's skill and luck, and they're 50-50. You need both of them.
100% communication. Just split that 3 ways, and that's how you win.
Well, because if you don't have someone that's a good communicator, you're not gonna make it far.
Yeah, it would have been rough I think of a lot of my other friends, and they asked me, could we do? I'm like, we'd kill each other.
Yeah, and see, that's something like when we've already talked about the potential of me and one of my friends doing it. But it was the thing is like I've known so many people that I'm like, I can't do it with you. I'll end up killing you at the end of this. Yeah. Like, I can't do it. But with all these different people coming back, and CBS, they do editing. Do you think you got a fair edit? Because I know there's a lot of, but every time you celebrated, whoa, like you just let it go. And then Ryan's just standing there like, okay, like we did it. But do you think you got a fair edit out of the season?
I mean, I didn't know what to expect. And there was one episode particularly that I was scared of the whole time. I think everyone knows which one it is. Good old Grace and the Stones. Yeah, you don't know what to expect. And being with Ryan, so Ryan has, had the opportunity to work on television, after being released and like sharing his message. And so it was kind of comforting having someone that kind of knew the lay of the land, what was happening. But yeah, I think we were shook out well. I'm exactly that. And, I don't scream and yell. It's not cockiness. It's relief. Like you just don't understand until you're doing it. I was the guy on the couch that would watch and be like, why is this guy yelling? Why are you so upset? This looks so easy. Until you're put in the position, I can't explain it to anybody. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we were portrayed as who we are. And, I hope that just people realize how strong our friendship really is. This is no gimmick TV or anything. And, I told production, it changed my life, the opportunity to do it. I uncovered some demons, and it was just a weird instance that it's on national television. I think almost that's what it took for some things that came out and me questioning some things in life. You got to hit rock bottom and bleed to know you're alive sometimes. And so, yeah, man, I was blown away by what they did for us. And, I think people enjoyed us. I hope, we're those two dudes running around, man, trying to get mischief.
I mean, it's good that you brought up the Stones, because we're going to get to that in a little bit, because you knew my reaction to it. But I wanted to break. I have some of like the legs of the race that stood out to me, and one of them, what I believe was one of the biggest comebacks in the Amazing Race history, was you guys with the goat or the mule and the cheese. What happened? Like, what happened there with you? Like, we don't get to see the whole the actions on TV, but what went through your head for that?
So if you watch the extras on YouTube, guys, I'm listing cheeses off like Forrest Gump. I've worked in kitchens my whole life, and it's just, I'm like, this is going to be easy. It's just, you're stirring stuff. I know how cheese is made. And when we get there, it's just, I see what we're cooking on. It's like in a gravel pit on a Bunsen burner in a bucket. And I'm just like, oh boy. And immediately we can't get the fire lit. It's turning on and off. Lulu and Lala are cruising, and they're like, just calm down. I mean, just from the beginning, all hell broke loose. And the night before, we stayed in this hotel, and it was a beautiful hotel, but all of us woke up soaking. I didn't sleep the whole night, zero sleep. And so, I mean, in the morning, I'm already pissed off, irritated. I'm like, this is the last thing I want to do is go out and race. And it just started bad. Again, Ryan, you see him. I don't know how he deals with me. It doesn't show it. I'm running to everyone. The woman that's in the cave that is checking people in, I'm screaming, "Cave lady, come light our fire," again, over and over and over. And so, everyone leaves. And by this point, it's like, you can't leave now. We're 25, 30 minutes into this. Yeah. But we broke rule 1 for us. When we saw Penn and Kim walk by, we were like, it's right there. They did it in 5 minutes. we should have went. We talked about it, didn't do it. Unfortunately, our cheese turned into mush, and so we go over to the donkey challenge, and literally we do it in 5 minutes.
Well, it's good they put the challenges were right there next to each other, because if not, there's no. I have a feeling that there's no way that you guys would have made it back if you guys did not see how easy it was.
When we saw the clue, though, once we got the donkey in, the production's like, "What do you need?" I'm like, "Something physical is the only chance we got right now," and thank God. Ryan thrashed that thing, man. I mean, it was so fast. You should have seen everyone's face when he came roaring back up. That was the same episode with the zipline waterfall, right? Yeah, and he's the one that did that roadblock, and thank goodness. I was like, man, I'm in no mental shape for this. You better take this one. And then you see what happens when we hit the beach. I let everyone know. I mean, everyone thought we were out there. You know what's going on. It was just a little sweet victory to let them know we ain't going anywhere.
I mean, that turned into the rivalry between you and the ladies, like you guys and the ladies, you, Raquel and Kayla, and then Kim and Penn. They were just wanting you guys out from the get-go after that. Like, they're okay, they're tough. Like,
it was hard to catch them too, man. That's when we coughed up the first group, and everyone's like 15 minutes. It's like when you're running against Penn and Kim and Kayla and Raquel, guys, I'm a student of the game. I watched every episode. These guys can run with anybody. And I tell everyone, I was like, if you somehow made an all-star like show where it was the top 3 teams worked in pairs of 6, I think season 33 could run anybody.
Most definitely.
No question asked.
No, Kim and Penn just once they got the lead, they couldn't let it go of it.
They just don't make mistakes either. Our A game will beat anybody's. I believe that. I think if we ran that finale 3 times over, it would be 3 different winners, because we choked at the beginning. I was sitting with the girls watching how they lost. I mean, let me tell you, their souls were sucked out of them.
What part on it was the part where they flipped? Was that at the Foley, or was that at?
No, it was at the.
It was
the girls had a 15-minute lead on Penn and Kim at the last challenge, and just not get the candy and coin right. And
that's right.
When you see you hear the yell on TV, and you see the look of, I mean, it was, man. I was like, Ryan, I'm glad we choked at the beginning.
I mean, I will say, as soon as you guys got to that last challenge, Ryan stuck up that coin. He's like, "You remember this?" And you're like, "Yeah, I remember that."
That was bad.
The one that I asked this question to everyone I knew when they aired the promo episode, the promo footage for it. And I said, I always question, what would you do for $1 million? And people go, I would do anything. I said, would you eat maggot cheese? And everyone goes, no. And I was like, I would. I mean, for $1 million. But how was that? Is it actually dry as can be, as everyone kept saying?
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, but everyone will say they want to do it. When a camera's in your face, things change real fast. And when you're that close, I'm like, man, we're like halfway through this damn thing. We can get this money. So the run up to it is savage. Like, it's a mile, probably like 3/4 of a mile straight up. And so no one's bringing water. You're trying to get up there and get down. So your mouth is dry. And it's like eating horseradish and like pepper. And it wasn't awful, I guess. I wouldn't want to eat it again, but for a show, I will. It's your breath the whole day afterwards. Like when we're approaching people to get directions, you have to wear a mask. And so you're just breathing this. I just didn't pay attention and ate it. I mean, if you know Ryan, I would just shove it in and let's get out of here as quick as possible. We knew something was coming.
And then you saw Kim on the other end going, what's in it? And then and then you just Penn is like, why are you asking these questions? Just swallow it. Like,
I saw it move and I was like, Ryan, just pound it. Go. Don't ask questions.
I saw that and I had to look it up. I was like, there's no way they're going to make them eat this. And then lo and behold, y'all ate it. And I was like, I could do it. I'll do anything.
You can do it.
But we talked about this a few minutes ago. And what I believe was one of the most emotional and raw moments of any show, any reality show, was Leave No Stone Unturned. And like a lot of people are going to say like, I could have done that so fast, but there's only 4 coins and 600 rocks.
5,000 rocks.
5,000. Oh, okay. Did not know. Makes it worse.
Yeah, 5,000. I wish it was 600.
But and with CBS going, oh, it's right here and he's right here. Like, what was that day? I know you sent me a message like, don't talk about rocks to me. Like, what was that experience like in going through it? And you said that it was something that was going to haunt you when it came out. So like, just tell us a little bit about that.
So we get to the roadblock, and today is, we're real close now. I mean, we're two episodes away from being in the money. So the pressure's on. Final four, we tear the roadblock, open, and you're away from the theater. You can't see anything. You're 200-300 yards. They don't want to give it away. Leave no stone unturned. I'm thinking, all right, gladiators, something. We're in Greece. We're gonna be lifting big things up. I got this, no problem. Dumb brute force, and then. You make your way the 200 yards and you see what the hell you're about to get into. And I'll tell you, we had talked before every leg, the teams that were remaining. And the last thing I expected was a needle in the haystack at this point. I mean, honestly, like they usually hit you with that pretty early and weed you down and break you. So, it is what it is. Kim, Raquel are there. I get there and Arun's right behind us. And I think Kim was there probably about 30 minutes for everyone. So, my plan at first was let's just break it up like pizza. I'm going to work my way from the outside into the little pillars in the middle. But, I've said it on multiple podcasts now. Like Mike Tyson says, you always have a plan until you get punched in the face. And being punched in the face is 5,000 stones. And so it's terrible. Everyone's complaining. We're literally talking about, should we take a penalty? Like all of us, what can they do? We're there for a long time. And, as people start leaving, the fear and the doom starts building because, Pinton said it on the show, the statistics don't lie. 1 in 4,997 opportunity to find it is not very good odds.
No.
And so I will never forget, the anger starting to build when Arun and I are there. I'm like, we're going to be here for a while. And then I hear the blood curdling scream he lets out. And I'm going to be honest with you, some dark things start happening. And so I'm there for an extended period of time, crawling around. Everyone sees it. I'm starting to lose it. And, I grew up pretty rough. I've taken care of myself my whole life, and I've definitely had my fair share of anger issues. And it's just that, I'm a product of the environment I came from. And so it's something I've worked extremely hard on. And it started to show itself even a little more so than what was aired. The frustration was building, and just in my head, I'm like, man, I've worked my ass off for this. And I know everyone else has on the show too, or they wouldn't have been in the position they're in. But
exactly,
my biggest fear was to be the one that sent us home, and for it to be something that had zero skill whatsoever. And to just put me in the position to where I know I'm about to break, it was not good. I was in a bad spot. And I'm just so lucky that Ryan was like, because the reason I was so hesitant to even go up there, in a roadblock, you're not supposed to really talk to your partner. But it was, I'm doing this. I don't care what the hell happens. And just that moment of clarity, and for him to just kind of give me the words of wisdom, like, man, whatever happens, happens. I'm here with you. If you want to take a penalty, we'll take a penalty. If you want to keep going, go. But he's like, think about your kid. Think about what's important to you. And I was like, you know what? All right, you're right, man. I got to get this done. And so I took time, went down, kicked a few rocks over, and then lo and behold,
How long after that talk versus flipping the rock was it? Was it as quick as they made it seem, or was it a little bit longer?
It was a little long, not long. I mean, 5 to 10 minutes. I couldn't believe it. And I mean, you see the scream that comes out of me. That's probably the loudest one. I think all of Greece knew I found that rock. The crazy thing is what you had to do after. It was so much. The show did it no justice. Like how much stuff you had to do after that. It wasn't just breaking plates. It was going all over hell. It was insane. Very defeating.
It came down to that. They did it. Oh, the way they edited this season, the how close you guys were. It was that moment when you and Ryan and Arun and Natalia were running to the mat, and I legit thought for a brief second, I was like, they got it. And then you get to the mat, and he tells you guys that you guys were last, and I was like, crap. Yeah, this is the end. So you did say that you with him. What was that feeling like at that mat with him?
So when I get to the mat, I'm basically pleading with Phil, I'm just saying, if we're last, man, we can't go out like this. And I'm going to be honest with you, I just burst into tears. I don't know why, just the weight of I'm destroyed physically. I mean, like, it's bad. Like, I can barely stand up straight. I was on my knee. It said 3. It seemed way longer, but that's the race. 3 hours crawling around in rocks. I was destroyed. Plus the miles we had to run and everything else. Emotionally, I'm destroyed. I'm thinking about home. You know, at this point, I have a 4.5-month-old son. I feel so guilty that I've left. I'm like, what the hell did I just do in this? I mean, I blacked out. I've screamed. I yelled. Like, how bad really was it? Did I just let us down? I did let us down. I'm the reason we're going home. We should have won this, and I blew it. And so I am sobbing. And Phil does what Phil is great at, and he asks the right questions. And, you know, I just spilled everything out. It was literally 38 years of therapy came out in a 10-minute conversation on national television on a mat. And I've been traumatized thinking about the episode, and to finally see it, it was really beautiful what they did. And I didn't know what to expect. I'm not a very vulnerable person. And to express that on national television, I've never done anything like that. I mean, my family, my close friends were like blown away, but just the support I've gotten from thousands of people are like, man, I've dealt with this too. It's very interesting. I was expecting one thing and the absolute opposite happened. And so that kind of goes back to what CBS and The Amazing Race, how they framed us. It was beautiful.
I remember watching that. And when you had your breakdown, I legit was like, I was crying on my own couch. But the thing is, and the thing that's so, I think is so like ironic about it is that Amazing Race, they knew what each leg was going to be the outcome. They knew that there was going to be a non-elimination leg. And for Phil to be like, okay, just tell me about everything. And then when he said that you guys are going to race again, I know I screamed. My next door neighbors literally, they came over and checked on me because they heard me. But that also, I think, is a scream that Greece probably heard all around. But I was so excited for you guys. And I remember thinking that was one of the most raw things, was just seeing Ryan just tell you to, like, look out over Greece. Like, you're here. If this is it, this is the last thing we're going to see. But so good. But no, I think that it was kind of nice to see that, because you don't ever get to see that on a reality show. So I
told production that absolutely too. I know you guys just think you make reality TV, but you changed my life, whether you think so or not. Yeah, it was my pleasure in a weird, strange way.
And I actually really enjoyed it. And I thank you for telling everybody that and telling us that, because you don't ever really get to see that. So, and then you had another incident. My question, do you dislike elevators?
I despise cheese, elevators, and rocks, and doorknobs, by the way. Can all be I mean, just
1025. Come on.
I'm literally going to tattoo it on me, I'm afraid. That's like, it just haunts me. Our motto, the whole Amazing Race, was to eat an elephant one bite at a time, go 70%. I think everyone says that. And if you notice, right when the leg started, we all just started sprinting. I didn't even know if we read the clue properly at first. And we just weren't patient. It got us. We weren't patient. We got out of our, element. Every time that we got away from being calm and Ryan keeping me under control, hell broke loose. And it's just gut-wrenching to know that we wasted so much time, and then to know how close we really were. Because we were
20 minutes, wasn't that what it was?
15 to 20 minutes behind the girls. We had a little trouble navigating to the pinata as well. It wasn't there, not too much, but LA was the hardest place I drove the whole time.
Really?
No question asked. It was gut-wrenching, and it's like, to know, like, you don't know, you're like, things can happen. We're saying that, trying to stay positive, but in the back of our minds, we're like, Penn and Kim, Raquel and Caleb, don't mess up. Mm-hmm. And we were the first ones there. We had it. And then to know we blew through everything else. So, I mean, we killed every other challenge. That last challenge, it took us 2 tries. It took 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes. And it's just like, damn, and we're honored that we made it to the end. I mean, a couple of guys, who would have thought? But we know we can win. We know we can win it. And it just, it's going to haunt me forever. Raquel, it's going to haunt them forever. But if I were to lose to anybody, legends. I mean, they're on the Mount. They got to be on the Mount Rushmore. They're so good, but I want to beat them.
I think had I heard you say before that if you were to do that challenge again, it would be a different outcome each time. First, they always say, read the clue, pay attention to the clue. Okay. But you guys did. You knew it was an elevator. You just didn't know which elevator it was.
The thing too is you weren't supposed to look over the edge.
Uh-huh.
There was like they were pretty clear about that, and I was like, you got to put 2 and 2 together. Like, okay, don't look over the edge, but what is like maybe wait. Like it's right there. It's the dumbest thing. I'm like, Ryan, we swung flags around and beat Penn and Kim at like a performing challenge. Like, how the hell did we lose this? Are like so far back. At least if we were a couple minutes behind, we could have caught up. But it is what it is in the Amazing Race. I mean, it's the highest of highs and lowest of lows, and it wasn't our day. We fought and we just went through so much, and the fear of being U-turned since after the cheese leg. I mean, the whole time we were like, they're going to get us. So how are we going to catch 4 people, doing this?
I was waiting for a U-turn this season,
man,
and then they didn't do it, and I was like, okay. But also with the low amount of teams they had, and the fact that it was they already had to take 19 months off. They're like, let's just keep putting non-elimination legs in, keep this game going.
Self-driving balanced a lot out though, guys. I mean, that is no joke how much we drove thousands of miles all over these countries. It's nerve-wracking.
I mean, and you gotta know how to navigate, because if you don't know how to navigate, you're gonna end up on the opposite side of the country before you even figure it out.
Oh man, so. Ryan is Magellan. I said it every single episode. If it was me navigating, if I had to do it, we'd still be there. They would be looking for us. It'd been bad.
The one that I had, which I thought was one of the most unique ones, was the arches. And the second to last leg, you have this little bitty square. And I heard you say it, and I know Penn said it, your eyesights are not as good as you are when you're a kid. How was that challenge? Because you couldn't see the end of them. Like, how did you get to 106?
I was terrified at first because I just choked in the rocks literally the leg before. I'm like, damn, this is up. I mean, I know it's at the end. I'm hearing the yelling going on in the background. So I'm like, all right, someone's home. And I'm like, shit, I got to do this, man. Like, really after this? And so kind of like Penn, the first time through, I count, I'm holding one eye. I'm just trying to make it work. And, I'm trying everything. And I get to, I forget what I said, like 103.
Yeah.
And then so immediately when I get it wrong, I'm like, man, it's got to be an even number. Like, what the hell am I thinking? It's 2 sides. Like, they wouldn't build odd. There's no way.
Yeah.
So I run back, I count it again, and I think I'm at I get 106, or not, I'm sorry, 110 this time. And so I'm like, I'm thinking like Penn after this. I'm like, it has to be close. I'm just going to sprint back and forth. But the thing is that you don't really get to see. It is a long, long, long run around this whole building and down this hill to the monk you're giving the answer to. And so after my third time, I literally stopped. I don't know if there's an Amazing Race Jesus, but he was up there for me today. Something in me, I think out loud. I'm like saying this. It's on mics. They're like blown away. I'm like, the finale's 10-6. I know that's when the last leg is on 10-6. And I'm like, it's got to be 106. I'm going 106. And so I literally touch the box. And Ryan's like, what are you doing? And I just take off. And I'm like, I'm just going to start the process of elimination. And I'm going to do it with 106. We'll go from there. And I get it. And again, I'm pretty sure that all of Lisbon heard everything I could scream too, because then I know I'm like, all right, we're in the dance now. There's no way that those two are going to get it and outrun us to this finale. So it felt good. It was redemption. It was weird. I compartmentalized Greece. I didn't even think about it. And then afterwards to know we made it, go through everything we went through. And I felt like, I'm like Kobe Bryant. I just hit a game winner to put us into $1 million round. How about this after blowing it? So it was probably my happiest moment on the race, just to know, like, all right, Ryan, I redeemed myself. I saved us.
I wish they would have showed that. Like, I wish they would have showed that, like, that stopping, because I was just like, I saw you do the running, and then you said 106, and I was like, whoa, okay, cool, he got it. But now to know, like, that's what went through your mind, and that's what, like,
luck
was the thing that, like, got it, because you had, I don't remember, was it Kayla who ran it and literally got on the first try, and I was like, oh, geez, okay, like.
I asked her, I go, why'd you tell Penn you may have gave away the win, girl? I think she helped him of some sort. I don't know. I would have to think I would help, get in, you're in.
Yeah.
I was just like, damn, man, I wish I was up in that front group. It's nerve-wracking being behind, man. It sucks.
But ultimately third's good.
Absolutely.
Of 7, 12, 7. Like, I don't know how you can accurately give a number, but you said it. You want to do it again? Would you do it with Ryan? Would you do it with Raquel? Would you do it with someone you know, like your wife? Would you do it with someone else, or?
So, I mean, I got to go with Ryan again, 100%. We're Team Rusty, man. We're Team Gray.
Team Gray. I was gonna wear gray, but it's St. Patrick's Day, so I
I
had to wear
know
gray.
we have unfinished business though, man. And I
Exactly.
really, I don't just say it lightly. And if we go back and get our asses whipped again, then so be it. Maybe we're not as good as we think, but we both truly believe that we can win the Amazing Race against anybody. And our bags are packed and they're ready to go. And if we're fortunate enough to get the opportunity to go, we're going to make sure that we make everyone proud. And I've said it on every single podcast I've done. If we do get a chance to go and we win, my $500,000 goes to any charity, whoever to pick. I'll give it all away. I want the belt. That's all I care about. And if I had to do it, I mean, I've talked with my wife multiple times. She would kill me in 2 legs. I think she's very intelligent, very fit. I mean, she would be a beast. I'd be scared we get into an Akbar Sherry situation where it's those two people, two guys love each other so much. They're an unbelievable couple. This show just brings out the worst in you. And to do it with a significant other, that's even more props to Pitt and Kim. It'd be rough just because you know how to push each other's buttons. But if I had to do it with someone else on the cast, I mean, Kayla and I have talked about it. We would go run together. It would be fun.
Well, because you do, you have your own podcast,
right?
The Pit Stop podcast with Kayla, which I honestly was very surprised when I first saw it. I was like, I thought she hated him. Like it just because the way they edited that, I was like, there's no way they did this together. And then you guys have so many episodes. Like, I'm props to you guys for doing that because
it's been fun.
It's kind of cool to see your guys' reaction to it months after, and you're like, what was the emotion like? And like just seeing that.
The talk is a lot different than when you see it again too. It's like, oh, I never said anything bad about you, But the thing is, like, everyone knows. I mean, we had 19 months. These people are my family. Like, I want to kill them all when the bell rings, and they want to kill me, but we're a very tight-knit group of people. And Kayla has just become someone extremely special to me. And this isn't the end of Pit Stop podcast. We actually have a few episodes coming. We have some other avenues we're going to do too. So people should look out and stay tuned.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to get wild.
So before we close out, I just have a scenario that I want to know what you think.
All right.
The 19-month pit stop didn't happen. Who wins 33?
That's a great question. I'm going to tell you right now, at the pace of a normal season of Amazing Race, where it's race, rest, COVID is race, rest days in a hotel room. You're going insane. It would have played into our favor, in my opinion. I think Raquel and Kayla could have held them a bit too. I don't know if it would have worn Kim and Pin down maybe more to just go. But I feel like, with the waiting, with her anxiety and everything, that was very hard on Kim as well. And so it would have helped. We would have won. No question. Are you kidding me? I don't think the outcome would have been the final 3 though. The cream came to the top. Spencer and Anthony throw a monkey wrench in some things. There are boys we would probably try to help them, or they would have helped us. Who knows? But I feel the 3 teams that represented season 33 in the finale could wreck most teams, and it would be a hellacious. I would love to get the opportunity to do it again too, just to see. Like, come on, guys, let's see what we got again.
So what's next for you? Like, what's next? Like, are you Survivor, Big Brother, The Amazing Race again, obviously, but
yeah,
would you do any of the other reality shows on CBS?
So Big Brother's a little too long for me. I have a lovely family at home, and just I don't know. I don't need to get myself.
I've seen pictures. I've looked at your guys' Airbnb website. Very cute, very nice Airbnb. Definitely will be staying there.
Yeah, we love to have you. Survivor is definitely something I'm very interested in. I'm a very outdoorsy person, hence Colorado. The Amazing Race is the 100% no-brainer. Ryan, I want it more than anything. But there's this new thing working on CBS, and it's very difficult, and it's the challenge. And guys, who better out of the CBS family to go wreck some fools than the screaming, rooting, tooting Dusty Harris? Like, I know they're doing some things right now, and there's percolation, and we all know there's lurks happening. I need that phone call too. I want to get that. I grew up watching the MTV side of it, but to get the opportunity to do it with, my new CBS family, which is crazy too. If you get the opportunity to do this race, man, you join a crazy family. It's beautiful.
All I know is that, and I've talked to many people, if I get cast, the moment Phil even says one word to me at the beginning, I'm just gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna cry. Because it's just something that I've wanted for so long. And to just be able to have him talk and then to hear him say travel safe, like it would be an outcome. But
try, man. Get it in. And then I don't know if you saw, shout out to Lulu and Lala, two of my favorite people in the world. They had the producer on Jesse Tannenbaum. Watch that.
Really?
It's a good one. It's on YouTube. Yeah. Check their channel out and look at the one with Jesse Tannenbaum. Watch that. You like it.
Cool. I mean, at this point, there's not much I have left, but we usually use this moment to plug the social media and anything you want to plug for yourself. So go ahead. Tell everybody what you got coming up.
So again, guys, check me out. Check out our bed and breakfast. It's the Harris House B&B in Glenwood Springs, Colorado at harrishousebnb.com. There's my boy. You can follow me on Instagram at DustyHarris03. I'm on Facebook at, I'll be honest with you, I think it's just Dusty Harris, like underscore 19. I'm not sure. But also I want to give a shout out to my sponsor NutriShop for everything that they're doing with my Ironman training. Another sponsor that's coming on with us is going to be Baffle Clothing Line. I'm very excited. It's a friend of mine, and there'll be some cool things coming out. But I also want to plug the Pit Stop podcast with Kayla.
Most definitely. I don't have that link.
Yeah, don't worry about it. They're not done yet, though, guys. We have some more recaps, some juice of season 33 coming. But we also have some other stuff planned that I think people are really going to enjoy. And it's been a pleasure doing it. I've never really podcast or anything like this. And so I'm all about it. And, man, helping each other. This is what this is all about. So I'm honored to do this with you, James.
Well, thank you. I know January is when I reached out and I was like, oh, we got some time. And then I realized there was the 19-month. I was like, it's going to be shorter. But no, it's finally happened. And I know when we actually air this, I'll make sure to put the Pit Stop podcast on there.
For sure. I appreciate it.
No, thank you for coming on. And thanks. Like, it was an honor to be able to have you on. So
my pleasure, man. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Have a good day, guys.
You too. You did.
Woo!
Well, that was the interview.
I'm following the Pit Stop podcast right now. Okay. I was like, what? They have a podcast?
To be able to sit down and talk to him was very very, very different, very enlightening. To get his point of view on some of the challenges that they did and ran was very interesting. And I told you we were going to talk about the coin and the pillars.
You talked about like everything I had questions about.
And that was one of the things I was like, you sent me a list of questions, and not every time was I going to go, oh yeah, Chrissy wanted to know. I was like, I'm just going to, if they came
I probably shouldn't have asked about the stones because he was like, I don't want to talk about the damn stone.
Well,
but he was a good sport.
Well, the thing is that, oh my God, my hair. When we were contacting, I said, you guys are, I said something along the lines of, you guys are rocking it. And he literally sent back the emoji with his head blowing up. And I said, he goes, do not mention the word rocks. And I went, oh no. Oh no. And this is before like the episode aired. And then we stayed in contact, and we're both from Missouri. So it was kind of just cool to like have that moment where like, before we actually did the interview where we both just talked about growing up in Missouri and where we left and where we went. So very good. Definitely going to have him back. Huh?
You find cool people in your area, Murph.
I know. Where's all the people from Philly?
I see Wendell and Bryce like monthly. They're too busy to go. They got Bryce and 1%. They got.
Well, guys, that was pretty much all we had for us this week. Next week is our personal interest pieces of the month. I will be talking about Judy Garland finally. And I think Chrissy is going to share her New York trip. I
went to New York again, but I actually did stuff this time. I'm going to share my trip to New York. And I will give you an update on the way to hula hoop.
Has it come in?
It's here.
Woo!
Wait, it's in here. I don't have the weight on it. It's downstairs, but
oh guys, you got the hula hoop.
Preview, guys.
Guys, thank you guys for coming in and watching this episode. I know it means a lot to me, and it means a lot to Chrissy, and it also means a lot to Dusty. He was rocking the crap out of this. He said it was a blast. If you follow his social media. Guys, speaking of that, if you guys want to follow him, go to Instagram at DustyHarris03. You guys can follow the YouTube, follow them on YouTube at the Pit Stop Podcast with Dusty and Kayla. And if you're in Glenwood Springs and you want to go to the Harris House B&B, just make sure you guys look it up online. They'll be glad to have you. It's actually a bed and breakfast. You rent it through Airbnb, but they actually do the breakfast part. So
I think my mom's going there. I'm not there, but somewhere in Colorado. See if it's near there.
Guys, don't forget to be watching our unedited movie review. We have Surf's Up and Mean Girls coming. That's the wrong date. That is the wrong date, guys. It is May 12th.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Don't be paying attention to that. Chrissy, go ahead and hit us with your social media.
Oh my gosh, if you are not following me yet, no, I'm kidding. Follow me at CRSMac_4. If
you're not following us, we will not follow you back.
I know, it is about time. If you want to follow Kalua, it's at Kalua_pup410. She had a good week after her first birthday.
If you want to follow me, at Jay Hanson. If you want to follow our podcast, go ahead and hit us up on Instagram at CJ Unedited Podcast. That is where we do our little teasers, our little sneak peeks. And coming up soon, we're going to start dropping some hints of what our the premiere of our second half of our second season is going to be. We'll be dropping those hints very shortly. Don't forget, next week is our personal interest pieces.
Period.
Chrissy, is there anything you would like to say to our viewers at home before we
Thanks for watching. My Survivor draft is kicking butt.
I don't want to talk about
shout
it.
out to all the teachers on spring break. Enjoy your time. And yeah.
Well, guys, thank you guys. Join us next week for our personal interest pieces. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. And Chrissy, remember to live your life 100%.
Unedited. We love y'all.
Bye.